Yo, yo, everybody, welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. It's Monday and it's time to talk horror. Welcome in, everybody. Very fun week ahead. We have not horror news necessarily, but we do have Superman, the highly anticipated new superhero movie coming out this week. Kind of kicking off the new DC universe, sort of. I guess Creature Commandos kind of did that, but this is like the first real movie we're getting into with all that. Controversial, a lot of people back and forth on how they feel about it, but it's an exciting new release no matter what side of the fence you are on, to see just what they're doing next with all that. Controversial, I know, but I've just never been a big fan of the Zack Snyder stuff. I really like his movies. I just don't like a lot of the superhero stuff he does. So I know if anybody clips that and throws it somewhere, I'm just going to get absolutely crucified on certain websites out there. But in my opinion, this is a much necessary change. I'm excited to see what we get into. We'll see. We'll see what's up. But I appreciate you guys stopping in. I promise that's the only superhero talk we'll get into, unless you guys want to talk about it. I don't care. We can talk about whatever. But we're here for movies. We're here for Saw, maybe a little Scream, maybe a little Terrifier, a bunch of crazy stuff we're going to get into today. So welcome in, my friends. Like, we have Ahmad Trice, what's up? What's up? How's it going, my friend? Welcome in. Appreciate you for being here. James Leclerc is saying, yo, what's your favorite scary movie? I mean, Scream film. He used Ghost because it should be Scream. Ghost with a knife. Ghost with a knife tells me Ghostface. That's what I'm getting from that. That's the vibe of it. Anakin's hanging out with us saying, hey, Daddy Jake, that's me. Are you excited to see Superman this Friday? Hell yeah. Also, did you hear they're turning the game Outlast into a movie? Yeah, there's an Outlast movie coming. What's the other one? Dead by Daylight. They're turning that into a movie. They're turning Poppy Playtime into a movie. All these crazy horror games are getting film adaptations, which is exciting. So I'm hyped for it all, dude. Really hyped. Really good stuff coming out. Do you like it? Do you think it'll be found footage like the camera from the games? I hope so. I love me some good found footage. Rarely do we get new found footage movies, which I think is a shame. I think found footage is it's a great subgenre, and I think when it's done right, it's very effective. The problem is it's got a bad rap because it's easier to make a found footage movie than a typical setup for a production, right? Because it's usually just actors running around with a camera. You have some kind of loose script, whatever. So anybody can really make a found footage movie. So I think they get a bad rap because the majority of them are, a little undercooked, but the good ones are banging, man. So I don't know. I love found footage. When it's done right, it really works for me big time. I feel like it ups the scares and the tension, but it's you got to do it a certain way. Erica's with us. Thanks for being a channel member, Erica. Appreciate you. Meowdy. Meowdy. It's almost like you got like a cat who's a sheriff in the Wild West, and he's like whipping out his 6 guns. This town ain't big enough for 2 of us, partner. That's like the vibe I get every time you say that, Erica. But what's up, Cat Sheriff Erica? Rust Redemption, almost like Red Dead Redemption. A theme for the stream is cowboys now, apparently. Yow! What's up? The way you wrote that kind of sounds like you just stubbed your toe walking into the stream. Like, oh, yow! Dang it! I hope you're okay, Rust Redemption. Hope your toe's all right there. Tid Morgan is saying live at Prime UK time. Awesome. Our UK viewers keep this channel alive. I'm just going to say it. Just going to be so real. Love you guys no matter where you're from. But UK viewers, you guys have kept KillJoy Jake afloat, which is a small reason why we're live during UK prime time now. But also my schedule is changing. So 3 p.m. just seems to be the way to go. But to my UK viewers, I can't thank you guys enough. Y'all are fantastic. Same to you, Tid. Love you so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. Legion is saying, Jake, what's up, Legion? How's it going? Welcome in. Marley Kai 2000 is saying Zack Snyder is overrated as fuck. Fair enough. Legion is saying, I'm with you about Zack Snyder, but the opposite. So you only like his superhero movies, not his other stuff. Fair enough. The Dawn of the Dead remake kind of slaps, man. I like that quite a bit. 300? Any fans? Do we have any 300 fans out there? I haven't thought about that movie in forever. Man, but I don't know. I like his stuff. Just his Superman movie's kind of boring. I don't know. That's just my take. Everyone's like, it's the greatest superhero film ever made. I watched it once. I don't know. I don't need to go back to it again. I'm excited to see what this is all about, though. I really do like James Gunn's style. We'll see what this new movie's all about. Hopefully, it's good. Cryptic Haze is saying, I feel bad for indie movies because of I Know What You Did Last Summer, Jurassic Park, Fantastic Four, and Superman being in theaters. It's going to be hard for them to get a slot. Plus F1. It always is, though, during the summer, dude. That's why I think you get the majority of indies in winter, fall time period, maybe even spring sometimes. But yeah, it's just summer blockbuster, man. Ever since Jaws came out, I feel like that's just kind of been the vibe. Really much tougher to do stuff like that. I remember there was a what was it? What was the movie? Cobweb. They released Cobweb for some reason in July for like a little while. And I'm like, that was not the way to do that. Cobweb was a little independent movie from a few years ago that was really good, really underrated, flew under the radar. And it was like an October feeling movie. Why they released it in July, I still don't understand. That movie would have done numbers had it been released in theaters in October. Still eludes me to this day. I'll still bring it up. But yeah, I mean, you're right. And this is how most summers do go at the box office. It's just here are the big blockbusters. People are going out to see them. They're event films in a lot of ways. So it's just it's tougher to get your indies out during the summer. Mikey is saying howdy, howdy. Oh, I see we have ourselves another sheriff. What's up, Sheriff Mikey? Mega Giants 89 is saying hello, everyone. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in. Dave Sim is saying, hey, brother, love the new video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. New Scream videos live on the page. Just went up maybe like 30, 40-ish minutes ago. I was I was earlier on that one than I have been in the past couple of weeks. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm on today. Oh, let's go. So pretty banging new Scream video, though. Talked about a bunch of new rumors, theories, ideas, things floating around in the Screamverse. But a big focus on Stu Macher, the debate. What's going on with that? What's happening with Stu? We got ourselves a little bit of a rumor from a third-party source that I personally trust, especially after talking with the fella. And I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on all that. So let us know. I feel like it's not the same old talk about Stu either. It's kind of getting into why I encourage, why we should encourage fan theories. And I understand if you're someone who's like, I've heard the Stu theory for years now. I don't want to hear, I'm kind of sick of hearing it. But I kind of got into some stuff about how fan theories help a franchise thrive. And it's important to have them. Jonathan Marino is saying, have a good live. What's up, Jonathan? Thanks for being here for even a second. Stay true to who you are. Media news slayer in my eyes. Thank you. Sorry I'll miss you this weekend going to see AMC Unseen rated R movie. Hope it's a good one. Talk about a mystery stab. Ooh, let me know what it is. I hope it's good. I hope it bangs. Hope it's something good that's not yet released and something surprising. That would be sick. Erica is saying, throwing a little reminder out there that if you have not joined us over on the Discord, we talk horror movies 24/7 over there. So go check it out. You also get little notifications about live streams, videos on both pages, not just this page, but also the gaming channel, which, holy shit, we're 45 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. So please go subscribe to that if you haven't already. Would mean a great deal to us. Nearly at a huge milestone there. So Kyle Gordon is saying, good afternoon, Jake. How are you this fine afternoon? I am just dandy. Thank you for the advice for the found footage. I enjoyed it very much. Oh, I'm glad you did. Nice. I remember we were talking about that. Yeah. As Above, So Below. That might've been the one. Banging movie. If for those who haven't seen it, really good stuff over there. Tom is saying, yo, yo, yo. Did you see the interview Danielle Harris did where she shaded Nev Campbell and Tara Reid? Oh, fuck. No, I did not see that. And, shit, wow. Pause. Like, hang on. That's crazy. I got to see that. I've heard, I don't want to talk ill of people I don't know. I don't know anything about Tara Reid, but I've never heard good things. Anytime Tara Reid gets brought up. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know Tara Reid. I can't speak to that. But I will say I've yet to hear good things. Did you see Leprechaun Revenge? No, I saw the notification this weekend. Never got around to just watching it. This is from the Levy brothers, who of course produced the Terrifier films, and they're kind of marketing themselves, gearing themselves up for doing a new Leprechaun movie over at what is it? A new Leprechaun movie over at Lionsgate. Totally blank there for a second. But it's really exciting. I want to see what it's all about. I'm curious what their take on Leprechaun is. I think that would be really fun to see them do it, especially after some of the awesome, like, other low-budget horror films that they've made that have absolutely rocked, in my opinion. So I'm here for it, dude. I'm hyped to see what comes from them, and hopefully something from this project. That would be exciting. Jordan Curley saying, hey, yo, 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 what's up, what's up? Froggy Fresh Shitpost is also with us, saying if Outlast movie isn't found footage, then what's the point of making it? I kind of agree. I mean, that's a big element to the game. It'd be kind of weird if they didn't have that in there. Who else is with us? My Chunky Jordy, thank you for being a channel member, saying hi, hi, hello, yo, yo, yo. I'm still waiting for questions from channel members out in the comments. You know, would love to make some shorts out of that, but haven't gotten too many comments lately. I'm gonna have to go back and like dig through the archive pretty soon. Start making videos out of old questions. So again, if you're a channel member, leave me your questions in the comments of videos, and I will make shorts out of them. I thought that would be kind of a fun new perk. So check that out if you can. We have Cineverse Rewind saying, would you ever go to HHN this year? I simply cannot this year. I want to so badly, dude. If there was any event I could do this year, it would be that. But unfortunately, I don't. It's not in the cards this year. I am moving into an apartment with my lovely fiance. We are saving up a lot of money for that, and we're also, and she's my fiance, so we're hoping to get married sometime in the future. So we're saving up for that as well. Lots of money going to lots of different events, and maybe some other secret events that could be being teased on my hat right now. I don't know. Who knows? Anything could happen in the Chicken Man universe, but we'll see. Do appreciate, I would love to go to HHN sometime. I just don't think it's going to happen this around here. So, but maybe next year. You never know. You never know what happens. Erica's throwing $5 out there too, saying, hey everyone, don't forget to follow Jake's gaming channel. So close to 1K. Here's the link. Erica used a super chat to throw out the link to the gaming channel. I really appreciate that, Erica. That really means a ton. Please go check it out, folks. 45 subscribers away. If everyone in this stream subscribed, we'd be at 1,000 subs, and my entire summer would be made. So please go check that out. Please subscribe. Would mean an unbelievably great deal to us. We're going live over there tomorrow night as well, and we're going to be playing some, I think we're going to do Poppy Playtime. I think I've kind of committed to that already. It's been requested a few times now to finish that series. I got through chapters 1 and 2. We're going to do chapters 3 and 4, next, and even some Alien Isolation. So I'm excited. I just heard a scream from downstairs. Everything good? I'm going to make a phone call just real quick. I just heard a loud, yeah! I don't know what that was. Sorry, everybody. Give me like literally 2 seconds. It's, I think that's valid to be like, okay, I gotta make a phone call after hearing a scream downstairs in my house. So Verizon Wireless, the number you dialed. Verizon Wireless. I think we're okay. I just got a text about it, so we're chilling. Anyways, let's get back to this. King Matthew III. Well, King Matthew, I'll get to this in a second. Erica, thank you for the 5. Really do appreciate it a ton. Again, check out the gaming channel. King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing today? I'm great. How are you? How are you, my liege? My kingliness? King Matthew? I don't know. Maybe this is Matthew Lillard we're talking to. That'd be really cool. Saying, my prediction for Scream 7 is after the main ghost faces are defeated at the end of 7, it ends with Stu killing Gale, setting up Sidney versus Stu in Scream 8. Oh man, I don't know if that's how I want Gale to go out. If Gale had to die, how would Gale go out? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious what people think about that. Ella is saying the remake for I Know What You Did Last Summer looks garbo. It is technically a requel, cause some kind of continuation. I don't know. We'll see what it's all about. I have faith in it. I really like Madeline Klein from Outer Banks. I think she's great, so I'm really excited to see her in a horror movie in general. I'm going to be honest. The cast alone has me kind of excited for this one. But I've always felt that just a little nitpick, not like a movie ruining element or anything, but just a nitpick of the original I've always had is I just don't believe that those characters would spend basically the entire movie trying to figure out who they ran over when they clearly saw his face. I mean, I know they sprayed a little bit of cherry sauce on there, but you can tell it's an old man and not a young guy like who they think it is the entire movie. And that's always kind of bugged me, especially on multiple rewatches. How they're doing the accident in this film is kind of cool because it's like they don't even see the people. They know they drive somebody off the road and then, oh, fuck, that to me is exciting. That spells a movie that is trying to do something, trying to push some sort of idea forward that could be potentially better than the original. Not to speak ill of a classic, but we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. I hope it's good. Mega Giants 89 is saying, KillJoy Jake, thoughts on Scout Taylor Compton? She's a good actress. I like her in a few things for sure. I don't know if I love her Laurie Strode necessarily, but I think she definitely has moments throughout those two films, without a doubt. That's kind of my one big That's my one big thing that I've really seen her in. I know she's done a bunch of other indie projects, but I couldn't name any off the top of my head. But in terms of her Laurie Strode portrayal, it's a different take on the character, so it's kind of hard to compare, right? But she's good. She's solid. Nothing that I strongly dislike about the actress, more so the script from Rob Zombie, right? That's where I feel like my issues with that film come from. Infinite Sky has been a member for 16 months. Thank you for the support, my friend. Really does mean a lot. Saying, I'm seeing Megan 2.0 this Sunday. Let me know your thoughts. I'm curious. This is a very divisive film. Let me tell you that. This is divisive, really divisive, and it's not doing so good at the theater, which bums me out a little bit. I will admit. I know everyone hates Blumhouse nowadays. It's the cool new thing to shit on Blumhouse, but I grew up with Blumhouse. Okay, I'm old. I'm officially old. I grew up with this company. I'm rooting for them no matter what, and I hope they get I hope they get shit figured out. They're making more money than they ever had, so I don't feel too bad for them. But Megan 2.0 is seemingly a flop, which sucks. Had a pretty bad opening weekend, and the critics are not being so favorable with this one either. But hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you find some fun in it. It's fun. I just don't know if I would go so far as to give it too many other compliments. But Infinite Sky, again, thank you so much for your support of the page. That really does mean a lot. Thank you for being here. Ty Lee, skipping ahead to Ty Lee here, is throwing a $5 super chat out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. We're at 2 out of 10 of our super chat goal, ladies and gentlemen. Saying, I'm glad the collective will be talking about something besides Scream tonight. Yes, we will be live over on Night Watch Zone's page. I guess we are switching it up a little bit. I got a text from Night and I just did not open it up. Lethal Collective versus the greatest horror tier list. We're doing a horror tier list tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that exciting? But yeah, switching it up. We kind of, our first run around was talking about Scream 7 stuff, and now we're kind of switching up, doing some weirder stuff tonight, which is going to be fun. So stop on by at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be a good stream, as always. Always have a good stream with those dudes. Love them. All right, there we go. But yeah, Ty, thank you for the 5, man. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you like the Lethal Collective. We're so happy to bring it back. I can't stress enough how much fun it's been to talk with those dudes again. And I especially like bringing different opinions to the page, especially on just horror in general. You know what I mean? I don't want this. I've said this before. I'll say it again. This page is not meant to be an echo chamber of me just throwing my ideas at you guys. I want everyone's voice should be heard. That's why we set up live streams like this where we're just chatting with people the entire time, you know? So I love that we can kind of do that in a version, in like a group panel thing here on the page, which is always fun. So hopefully we can keep doing this for a little while here. Nothing would make me happier. But Ty, thank you for the 5. Appreciate it a ton. Thank you for your support of the page. Scott Walker says, sorry, I'm a few minutes late because my American Bulldog Red is a diabetic and he has to have his insulin every 12 hours. That is a perfectly great reason to be late to a stream, dude. No worries. I appreciate your support, man, but obviously there are more important things out there. You never have to apologize for taking care of a lovely animal like that. So it's all good, my friend. All good. Cineverse Rewind saying they already subbed to the gaming channel. You're wonderful. You're so wonderful. And I'm gonna actually I see someone asking to pin the thing. I'm going to pin it and it's just not working. But here, let's try to do that over on YouTube. That's why we have YouTube up there. I've just pinned Erica's message with the link to the gaming channel. Again, would just mean the world to me if we can get that up to 1,000 subs. So go check that out right at the top of the stream chat there. Project Horror is saying, hey, Jake, 11 days until the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. So excited. I'm glad you're excited. I watched the original last night after watching it for the 10th time. I think the rating goes down a bit. I definitely am not out here giving it a 10 out of 10. It's a fun movie. It's got that Kevin Williamson fun style, late 90s feel to it that I think is great, nostalgic. You know, I think that's like an immediate draw to it. There's just things about there's things about the plot that I'm just not so crazy about, but it's a fun one. It's cool. And I'm hoping to see some fun happen in this new one. Another thing I'll add that we haven't talked about yet is it feels like the screamification of this franchise, right? It kind of feels like we're turning this into a typical murder mystery mystery slasher where like the original two movies feel a little more personal. You know, they feel less murder mystery, more about an isolated incident, I feel, even though it's easy to mistake it for a Scream clone. I Know What You Did Last Summer definitely has its own thing going on. So this feels like it's just going straight into it. We're Scream now, but instead of Ghostface, the fisherman with the hook, you know? So I'm excited to see what that ends up looking like, because I feel like that's something that franchise fans have always wanted to see from that series. Some have, some maybe not. Some people don't even need a sequel, I feel. But this is the only way I feel like you can keep a franchise like this going, is turning it into Scream, essentially, right? Because it's about an isolated incident. I just don't see how you could keep that going for too much longer after the killers have supposedly died and all that. There's a lot that you would need to, a lot of stretches of reality that I just don't know if you could do or not. Sloppenheimer is saying Sydney not believing Stu is dead makes sense, but that means she'd have to believe others could be alive since not everyone was shot in the head. This is a weird thing. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know about this. So I don't think that Sydney believes Stu is dead. There's no way she doesn't. And even if that was the twist of this new movie, that Stu is alive, she would have to believe that he's dead, or it wouldn't be a twist. Like if you wanted to try to set up that Stu is a twist, Stu is alive or something, it would have to come off as a twist at the end. And I just don't see. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not buying into it. But yeah, I'm not really digging that about one of the latest rumors going around right now. But yeah, I really hope that's just a rumor that doesn't actually make it into the new film. If you're completely lost with what we're talking about, just posted a new video today talking about some Scream 7 rumors, updates, bunch of different things going on in the world of Scream. And one thing going around right now, there's a rumor that Sydney and Gale have a conversation going back and forth about if Stu is alive or dead or not. And allegedly, Sydney says that she believes Stu is alive. I'm sorry, that's not happening. there's no, I don't buy that for a moment. Sydney is literally the one who threw the TV on his head, and killed him, right? Killed him, essentially. If they want it, look, it's still open-ended to the idea that they could do a twist with Stu. We don't know. Matthew Lillard is involved with this project, so we have to entertain Stu theories as of right now, whether you like it or not. But I just don't believe in any way, shape, or form that Sidney Prescott, without anything with everything that's happened so far, would believe that Stu is that Stu is alive. She has to believe he's dead. I can't see something like that working otherwise, one way or the other. So that's just my thoughts on it. How do you guys feel? Do you think that Sidney believes that Stu is alive? I can't see it. I can't see something like that working. This is not me saying this is not me talking about like Stu being alive or dead or not. This is just the character of Sidney Prescott. Do you think she thinks that Stu is alive? I can't believe it. I can't believe that she would think that personally. Project Horror is saying I should do an I Know What You Did Last Summer fan film. I know you said you wouldn't want to do a fan film again, but this is a good exception. I would only, so to clarify, I would only do a fan film again if I had a really good idea. And I will say we do have a really good idea for something that we want to make in the future, but we want a little more attention on our original projects first. So we might be doing something more with Chicken Man soon, and maybe you'll see it soon, I hope. But we want to get some more attention over on our production outlets page first before we get into another fan film, because I don't want to. This page is about horror updates, and we want to make if we want to do this other fan film idea, it would be something over on the other channel. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to do it, raise some funds to make it. But Connor and I have a pretty insane script under our belts that we're really proud of. So we're hoping to maybe get that funded at some point, maybe next year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what ends up coming of it. But we do have a fan film potentially in the works that we would like to work on. What's going on? We have Wax On Wax 518. I don't remember that quote. I remember Mr. Miyagi talking about wax on, wax off. But what's all this? What's up, my friend? Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. That's some kind of movie or something. Oh, she's in that. She's in that quite a bit. I haven't seen that. It's been brought up on the page before. I actually have not sat down and watched that one. If you're talking about Scout Taylor Compton, who we were talking about earlier. James Leclerc is saying, I wonder what's next for Halloween, TBH. Halloween has a new series coming from Miramax. We haven't heard too much about it, just some smoke and mirrors, some rumors, this and that kind of thing. Hopefully it's good, whatever it ends up being. Sounds like it's going to be all about Dr. Loomis and Michael's relationship again, potentially going back to the, something stemming off of the original movie again, which I think some people are kind of sick of that, right? I think some people are kind of like, okay, we just did that in Halloween 2018. Now here's just another thing with that. Let's move on. Let's do something else with this series. I get it. But I'm excited for a series. It could be fun. I think I want another movie though at this point. Like I'm totally fine with taking a break after Halloween ends and just kind of coming out with a movie like maybe in a couple years. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with all that. Marley Kai 2000 saying, Jake, I'm gonna get someone big to subscribe to your GullGotha channel. That would be awesome. Literally nothing would make me happier. Like I said, I don't know what it's at right now, but last time I checked, we only needed 45 more subs. That would be cool as fuck. Picky Piggy is saying, I saw the new Jurassic World. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit too. I said in my review, essentially I don't think it was perfect, but I still had a good enough time with it, and I think it's way better than the last two movies, without a doubt. I walked out of Dominion just so done with the Jurassic franchise. I was like, I'm out. I don't know. That was too bad. That was too bad for me to care about whatever comes next. And then everything we heard about this movie was surprisingly pretty interesting, and I'm like, okay. Maybe we're moving somewhere. Maybe we're taking a step forward. Maybe something is coming from this. We got Gareth Edwards on the project, the director I really like. We got Scarlett Johansson in the lead, Mahershala Ali supporting cast. Some pretty cool things happening here. David Coep writing, who co-writer, the original writer of the sequel. Something good has got to come from this. Come on now. And it was solid. Solid. It's my favorite of the Jurassic Worlds. I wouldn't put it above any entry in the original trilogy, though. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But I liked it quite a bit, and if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend seeing it in the theaters. It is a solid sequel, a lot of fun sequences, tension-fueled dinos chasing after people and all that. So if that's what you're looking for, I think you're going to get that at the very least with this new movie. Paula Fitzhenry is saying, sorry I'm late. It's all good, Paula. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for talking horror. Tom is saying, if Stu's return is a flashback, they need to up the budget and get better de-aging CGI. I imagine, I'm just going to be real with you, Tom. This is something that, interestingly enough, hasn't really come up on the page. But we all saw how Billy looked in the last two films. I imagine it's probably going to look like that. I'm just going to be so real with you guys. I don't know if it's going to look great, but it's going to be the original actors playing teenagers again. So, I think we just got to, there's a point where you got to just look past some things. And I think that's what it's going to have to be with that to tell this story. Ty is saying, I like Scream, but damn, what else is there to talk about, I mean it as nicely as possible. Ty, I share your frustration. I love Scream too, but there's so many other good horror franchises and good continuations out there right now, and I do like talking about other stuff. It's just tough, especially, those guys, they mostly just cover Scream stuff, so it's tough to bring up other things. We did get into a little bit of I Know What You Did Last Summer talk last week on the page, which was exciting. With them. So if you guys missed that stream, the Lethal Collective stream on here, we got into some other franchises and stuff at the very beginning, which was nice. But we're definitely going to try to spice it up a little bit moving forward. Mega Giants is saying, who would you like to see as a female lead in the new upcoming Urban Legends reboot that was announced in late April? I'm trying to think who I would really like to see. I can't stress enough how much I love the Outer Banks cast. I think they're all fantastic across the board. I wouldn't mind seeing, is it Madison Bailey? Is that her name? Who plays Kai? I already forgot her name on that. I haven't watched it in so long. I could see Madison Bailey leading that. That'd be kind of cool. She's good in that show. I'm trying to think who else I really like. You need this is young adult YA horror, right? You would need someone in that field, I feel. I could see her doing it. I could see like Sydney Sweeney has done a lot of really weird horror movies lately, but I feel like she's more the indie bizarre route versus mainstream horror. But I could see Madison Bailey doing it. I could see honestly Madeline Klein would be a great choice. I just love Outer Banks, so that's what I'll say. Maybe some of our Stranger Things cast members getting into some of that. That could be fun. They're more like 80s horror, but wouldn't it be kind of sick to see them do some 90s stuff? That'd be great. Who else do we got here? We got Jordan Curley saying, do you think Final Destination this year was the best movie? It's in my top 10. I liked it quite a bit. I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's my number one. The more I think about it, the more I sit on it. 28 years later has gone all the way up to the top. Sinners was phenomenal, and all year, pretty much since I saw that, I'm like, that's my favorite horror film of the year. But the more I sit with 28 years later, it speaks to me. It's got so much going on that really impressed me. It could have been something else, and I'm so glad it's not. The more I sit with 28 years later, the more I'm like, it's my favorite. Kenny is saying, are you still salty Scream 7 is giving us cheese on the burger, i.e. Sydney returning to her story after the alt lead hijacks? That's one way to describe it. I feel that I'm still salty with Scream 7 because I don't love everything I'm hearing about it. It feels like I don't think it's my thoughts on it is they're saying it's going back to the original vibe. They're saying that it's going to be like the original Scream movies, but they've been kind of saying that about every single Scream movie that's come out. The recipe here, the ingredients are not adding up to that recipe. Is my point. We have like the biggest cast for a Scream movie ever. There's like 1,000 characters in this. There's like the most legacy characters out of any sequel. It looks like it's going to be convoluted and just too big for its britches. That's like all of my issues with Scream 7 come like boil down to that essentially. Everything we're hearing about it sounds like it's trying to be this larger than life story. And I miss the simplistic plots of the original, I guess is my point. So if you really want to go back to the original feel of Scream, make it a smaller story. Stop injecting every single legacy character you can into it. That's how you go back to the flow and feel of the original three. Well, I should say the original movie. Now, I don't want to... all the sequels have an issue, in my opinion. But if you want to try to make something that is closer to the original... Smaller stories, guys. Like making a gigantic, huge story out of Scream doesn't make any sense. Murder mysteries work the best when they're smaller. Murder mysteries, even well before Scream, think Agatha Christie, are typically like in a house, bunch of people trying to figure out who it is. The detective's there whittling it down to the case. Now, if we had fucking 40 people in an Agatha Christie novel, and it was at 1 million different locations all over the globe or something like that. I mean, that's insane. Scream 7 is just shaping up to be something that doesn't feel like the original, maybe something that feels more like typical modern day blockbusters. And that's just not Scream, in my opinion. So a lot of the things I'm seeing, it feels like it's contradicting a lot of the things we're actually hearing from the people making it. But who knows? Maybe it ends up actually being a little more simpler than we think. And if that's the case, nothing would make me happier. But right now, I have my concerns, I have my worries, and I hope it ends up being a smaller story than we're making it out to be. Than it seems to be, I should say. Tom, thank you for being a member, saying, hey, Jake, thanks for going live today. Been having a bit of a rough day. And horror movie talk helps. Well, that's really good, man. Tom, I'm really sorry to hear that, my friend. Wishing you nothing but love. Thanks for hanging out with us, dude. Bon is saying, hi, Jake. I watched Barbarian a few days ago, and I haven't been so shocked in years. I See You was another great film with a similar amount of twists if you liked it. Dude, I'm really glad you like Barbarian. That was one of the only movies that I saw to review for this page, and I like went to the next showing. I was like, I got to get my review done tonight, but I have to see that again. I think I saw the 7:00 showing on like a Thursday night of it, and then like I literally went to like whatever the next showing was. The moment I got out, I had to see that one again. That was one of those movies that I was so in it. I was like, I have to see it again to fully be able to review it. I was just so rolling with it so much. It was a ton of fun. Love Barbarian. I See You is a movie that's been on my watch list for a very long time. I've seen it on streaming for like forever, and I just have not sat down and watched it. But if that's the movie it made you think of, that means I probably got to sit down and watch that one. That's exciting. So very exciting stuff there, Bon. I'm glad you liked Barbarian though, dude. Rodrigo is saying, when do you think the first I Know What You Did Last Summer reviews will show up? I don't think they're going to do an early screening for this one. They never do when it's a movie that heavily relies on like a big spoiler. Well, I won't say they never do. They did an early screening for Hard Eyes, and I was kind of shocked that they did that for Hard Eyes. But I get Hard Eyes doesn't really rely on the twist. Not really. You can figure it out if you're thinking about it. I feel. So I know what you did last summer. This is one that I don't know if they'll do early reviews for. Maybe some people will see it early, whatever, but I imagine the embargo is not going to lift until way late in the game with this one. That's my guess. There might be an embargo already with this. I don't know what it is, unfortunately, off the top of my head. I usually don't even look for screeners for these kinds of movies because they rarely show up. Hard Eyes is a rare exception. That was one we got to see early a while back, and yeah, man, most of them though, I always just gotta seek it out on my own. Just go to the theaters. So we rarely get early screenings for that one. For those kinds of movies, I should say. Jess, Teddy, a bunch of folks are joining us from the gaming channel. What are you guys doing? How are you guys doing today? Welcome in. Appreciate you all a ton. I'm scrolling up in the chat here because I'm getting so behind. Davey Deathray is with us. What's up, Davey? How's it going, man? Thanks for being here. Not a good sign for I know what you did last summer that they haven't reached out about a press screening. Like I said, I don't think they're going to do it. I really don't. Davey, did you not like 28 Years Later? I feel like we've talked about this. I forgot. Let me know your thoughts on 28 Years Later. Dude, I've seen it twice now. I love it. I love it so much. I think it bangs. It's one of those just weird movies that really worked for me, and I understand why it didn't for others who just wanted more of 28 Days. But man, I really, the more I sit with it, the more I just love it. More it grows on me. Tom is saying the flashbacks in Halloween Kills were done perfectly. I agree, man. No complaints except for what they did with it in Ends. But I loved the flashback in Kills a ton. As it stands, it's pretty great. Horror Hellhound is saying, would love to get y'all's opinion on something. My most anticipated horror movie of the year is Black Phone 2. Should I go to the theaters dressed as the grabber when I go to watch it? Sure. Why not? Just don't bring a real axe or something like that. Just if you want to wear the costume, sure. There was people dressed as Ghostface going to Scream 5 and 6, man. Nothing wrong with that. That's fun, I think that gets people excited. I got to see Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World, when it came out. And I remember we were at a really big screening of it, my whole family and I. And there was people who dressed up, there was an old guy that dressed up as Richard Attenborough's character from the original, which was sick. Dr. Hammond. So that shit to me is exciting. It's oh shit, no way. All these people are mega fans. That just gets me excited for things. What else is going on? Who else is with us? Sloppenheimer is saying, Jake, opinions on the twins and what their characters should consist of. If you're talking about the Meeks Martin twins in Scream 7, how are they going to be utilized? I really think it's going to be that they're working with Gale. I'm just thinking about their characters, right? They're both people who are, descendants of Randy in some sort of way. They kind of represent his legacy and just that archetype of a character, which is something that was so fresh in the original Scream, which is why I think you've always kind of had a Randy character throughout the majority of these movies. So how are they going to, try to find a new way to evolve that, essentially? I think that they're going to be trying to break into the film industry by working with Gale. Wouldn't that be kind of funny? Maybe I pitched in a video recently that Chad could be basically her cameraman, and you could have Mindy with a boom pole or something. I don't know. There's a rumor that they're going to be doing an interview with Sydney at one point. I'm that would be a great way to reintroduce those characters, working with Gale, doing an interview for Sydney Prescott, and just, rolling the camera and all that. They're working the equipment. That could be really fun. I feel that could be a great way to bring them into the story. And it also explains where the Carpenter sisters are. They're not here because they're back in New York. The twins are here in Indiana working with Gale. That's why they get involved with this new story, and they don't. I feel like that would be a really easy way to do it. What else is going on? Scream 3 is my least favorite, partly because of Cotton's unceremonious death after he became my favorite character in Scream 2. You don't like Cotton's death? I feel it. I feel like it kind of works. But But I understand that. The reason I like it so much is because I feel like Cotton kind of gets what he deserves, man. I mean, he's being such a jerk in the second movie. He kind of pushes it a little bit, you know? I would actually go so far as to say is that Cotton is a secondary antagonist in Scream 2, which really makes that film interesting for me. I mean, he's everything that happens at the ending between him and Sydney to me is like, would he have, you know, shot the bad guys if she didn't agree to that interview? You know, that to me makes me scratch my head and makes me wonder Cotton's real motivations, real intentions. I mean, sure, he was cleared of being the killer in the first one, but, you know, does that make him a bad guy still? Does that clear him of being a bad guy, I guess is my point. I feel like he still is kind of a nasty dude. But I like that about him, and I think Liev Schreiber plays it really well. So to me, I kind of feel like he got what he deserved in Scream 3 after getting all that fame and success. It's like, I almost kind of feel like, oh, fuck this guy. You know, like, screw that. He was mean to Sydney. I don't like that he was mean to Sydney. He shouldn't have his own talk show. So him being the opening kill, I personally, I feel really works for me in Scream 3. My Chunky Jordy throwing a buck out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. Wow, we're getting a ton of super chats rolling in. Appreciate you guys a ton. Gina's also saying, saw the trilogy of OG Jurassic at work for free. Dude, that's awesome. At work? Where do you work that you got to see like the OG Jurassic Park movies? That's sick as fuck. And like, wait, all of it? Like you got to sit down at work and watch all 3 of the Jurassic Park movies. That's so cool. Gina, you're so cool. I love that a ton. I need to know more. I need an update on what's going on here because that's exciting. I love the OG Jurassic Park trilogy. I grew up with it. I love it to death. All 3 of those movies, bang. So much fun. So crazy. Just some great stuff. Bon is saying, I saw you before we get to this other super chat. I have to address this. I saw you gave Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a 1 star. It seems like slop, but a bit harsh. Dude, I hated that movie. I'm going to be so real. Like, with all due respect, I walked out of that movie genuinely feeling like I wasted my money. It's not, and my problem with it is it's not a Ghostbusters movie, and it's a Marvel movie. It totally misses the point of why Ghostbusters is funny. Ghostbusters boils down to one very simple thing. It seems complex, it's not. The joke of Ghostbusters is that these guys are doing this outlandish, ridiculous job, and they're approaching it with that dry Bill Murray humor, like it's a mundane, everyday thing. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire doesn't even have a lick of that. And that's honestly my problem with the new Ghostbusters films is they, like, again, it seems complicated. Like, Ghostbusters seems like a weird, complicated franchise. I promise you it's not. You get that one thing right with the new Ghostbusters film, you'll have me on board again. But the last 2, they just didn't. They just didn't do that at all for me. They feel like Marvel movies with Ghostbusters ideas in them. And I just don't like them at all. I have said nice things about Afterlife. I like that movie a little more. The first kind of comeback to the franchise, but man, I have no interest in rewatching that one. And Frozen Empire, same thing. So I'm so sorry. It's just not for me. I miss the dry humor of the original. That's what makes that original, the 84 film, such a classic. And even people hate Ghostbusters 2. I don't get it. Ghostbusters 2 is fantastic. Not as good as the first one, but still very good. Okay, sorry. Rant, that's a whole rant. I could make a whole video about my thoughts on modern day Ghostbusters, but we'll save that for a future video. Antonis, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for the $5. Saying, will Thanksgiving 2 get delayed to 2026 since we have no teaser trailer yet and no new news? I thought we would have a trailer by now. Antonis, you're pretty spot on. It sounds like that they haven't really had time to do anything with Thanksgiving this year. So here's my theory. Here's what I think is going on. Eli Roth recently opened up a brand new company, the horror section. It's like a whole new company. And I kind of talked about this in one of my like weekly woes videos, but essentially what it is he's opening up a company to make a bunch of Terrifiers, like, just to put it in layman's terms. He's trying to make a bunch of like low budget horror films and release them like low budget unrated horror films and do wide theatrical releases with them, hopefully turning a bigger profit. I totally understand why you would want to do that after the success of Terrifier 2 and the even bigger success of Terrifier 3. So Eli Roth's kind of getting all that moving, and then I think it looks like Thanksgiving 2 is the next project he's getting himself into. But by the sounds of it, and I think Nell Verlack, the star of the original Thanksgiving, even kind of confirmed this, that they're going to start filming it very soon if they haven't already, and it's probably going to release in November of 2026. So I know that sucks. It seemed like it was going to come out this year. I think it was actually promised to come out this year. But our boy Eli has been busy. So here's my thing about this, though. This is ultimately a good thing because we have some really bizarre Eli Roth produced movies coming out very soon. The first one drops in August. It's called Jimmy and Stiggs. It sounds fucking killer. And if you have not seen the trailer for this yet, I could not recommend it enough. Go check it out. It looks crazy as fuck. It is about it's Joe Bagos who wrote, direct, and stars in it, and it's him fighting a bunch of practical effect aliens. It looks ridiculous. I am so into it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. So definitely give it a watch. Definitely go check it out this August. There's also a ton of free screenings happening all across this month and the beginning of August, and so that might be happening in your area. Give it a look. Look it up. But I think the goal is to get the word out about this one, so that more people support this company. And I'm here for supporting this company. I'll tell you what, the idea of low budget, unrated horror films going to theaters, I think in a weird sort of way that's going to save theaters because that's kind of been a taboo subject for the longest time. But Terrifier 3 just broke those floodgates open. So having more of those, having more Terrifiers in theaters, that's going to be a great thing, I feel. So theaters need some sort of lifeblood these days as less and less people go. Summer blockbusters can only hold them over for so long. So I'm here for some weirder movies coming to theaters, like say in the wintertime or the fall. Let's see what that's all about. David Primero, thank you for the $2, man. Really do appreciate that. Saying, what do you think about Walking Dead being part of DBD? Walking Dead being part of Dead by Daylight, that could be kind of fun. I'm curious who would be your like big bads, like who would be your like the monsters, because you typically just have like zombies, right? In that, who would be the bad guys coming after you? Could you do some of the human antagonists as like the bad guys? Like, would that be kind of weird? Like Negan is like a killer, you know? Negan with the baseball bat. I almost feel like that wouldn't be so weird. And kind of do what they do with the Resident Evil stuff, right? Because if you play as Nemesis as a killer, you have like zombies walking around the map. So let's say you play as Negan and zombies are all over like Walking Dead zombies are all over the map. That could be kind of cool for like a killer. And then your main characters could be like Rick and I'm trying to think who, like maybe Daryl. I couldn't think of his name. You'd have Daryl be one of the protagonist characters, the survivors. Okay, you know what? I could kind of get into that. That could be fun. It might be something to do with some of the new Walking Dead series, though. Like, I don't even remember the names of them. But there's like all these Walking Dead spinoff shows now. Maybe you have characters from those coming into Dead by Daylight. That could be fun. I'm not against that. I think that could be kind of sick, actually. It would be weird, but Dead by Daylight's getting weird, and I like that. I like that they're getting weird. They have all kinds of bizarre killers and characters you can play as, so I don't mind that. I kind of like. I think it makes it more fun in a weird sort of way. You can have Laurie Strode go up against Ghostface in Dead by Daylight. I mean, that's sick as fuck, in my opinion. So, David, thank you for the $2. I appreciate that a ton. Cody is saying, well, Jake is live, and I missed some of it. I'm here now. Howdy, Jake in chat, and Erica ain't number one today. Damn it. And Erica's saying, I'm always number one. We love that. You're always number one, Erica. Hell yeah. Yeah, what's funny is over on the gaming channel, we have, it's weird. We have some of the stuff for beta over here, and we have some of the other stuff in YouTube beta, over there, which is bizarre. But yeah, what's going on with that is we have the crown system, which you guys might have noticed this on some other pages across YouTube. There's this new thing that's being implemented where the more you chat, the more you're involved with the stream, you get a ranking. There's a ranking system now with that. I think the Nightwatch Zone has it over on his page, which is cool. But we have it over on GullGotha, but not here. And I'm kind of bummed. I wish we had it because it's fun. It kind of makes a game out of the stream, which is cool. But it's a new part of YouTube beta. It's like a weird thing that they're doing. They might implement it into YouTube. They might not. They're trying it out with select creators now, and I got it on one of the pages. It's just not both. But Erica and Cody were kind of fighting for that top spot the other day on the gaming channel. So it was fun. It was a really good time. But Cody, thank you so much for being a member of the page. Again, really appreciate the support. My Junkie Jordy's throwing 2 more super chats out there. Appreciate your support as well. Thank you. Thank you. Picky Piggy is saying, I really love Thanksgiving 1. I wish it was more like the Grindhouse trailer, though. This was a big complaint, and, you know, I did a whole video about the original Thanksgiving over on KillJoy Jake Retro. I'm not really doing anything with that page anymore. It kind of crashed and burned, unfortunately. It's tough to talk about older movies these days on YouTube, which sucks, because I would love to make a whole channel out of that. I really would. But I remember I did so much research on that original Thanksgiving. It was so much fun. Lots to talk about there. And one of the biggest things is Eli Roth has said that the movie is kind of supposed to be like a remake of the 80s classic. So it's supposed to have that modern feel to it, where the trailer is the only thing that's left of whatever remnants of some weird 80s slasher movie there would have been. So that was kind of the goal with it. And I feel like that's a way of reinventing the project itself, opposed to just just taking those scenes from the original trailer and trying to, make a whole film out of it. In Thanksgiving 2023, it almost feels like a remake, essentially, in a lot of ways. Like, they do take scenes from that trailer, not all of them, but some scenes, and then just kind of make it work for this new story. But I think if you watch it like that, it's a little more fun, honestly, because you can kind of see how they remade some of the things into this movie. So is Thanksgiving 1 a remake? Kind of. That's kind of how I watch it, at least. I watch it as like a modern day requel of something from the 80s. But I understand wanting something that feels a little more grindhousey. So I think that's what Eli's trying to do with his new company, I should say. Gina is saying the crown pisses me off. I'm sorry. Maybe. Well, I guess that's why it's in YouTube beta. That's not why it's implemented into YouTube yet. But Gina, I'm so sorry that you don't like it. That's no good. Thank you for the $2, dude. Davey Deathray also throwing 2 out there. What's up, Davey? Day of the Dead turns 40 this year. Are you a fan of? Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. I'm a huge fan of all the Dead. The original, sorry, not all of them. The original trilogy. Some of the later ones get a little too weird for my taste. But man, Nights, Dawn, Day, all great in their own rights, and all very different from each other too. Day of the Dead 2, I feel like gets roped in with Dawn a lot, but it's a much different, more like philosophical movie, which is weird. And it's weird. I put that movie on for friends one time. Like, I'm like, oh, you guys like Dawn of the Dead? Let's watch Day of the Dead. And they're like, okay, yeah, basically the sequel. Sure, let's check it out. They didn't like it at all. Like, they were not fans of Day of the Dead. I really like it though. It's the big complaint from them is they're like, there's no the zombies don't really show up until way later. This is weird. There's also like a zombie that they're trying to like I can't remember his name, but they're trying to make him more like human. Again, it's all like philosophical stuff and gets into some commentary, which I think some people would call woke nowadays. But man, I love Day of the Dead. I think it's a great movie. It's a very different film, maybe a little more underappreciated from Romero's catalog, but I like it quite a bit. Again, not my favorite of the Deads. I think Dawn of the Dead's always going to be my favorite, but Day of the Dead, very banging movie, man. Doesn't get enough love for sure. So I'm going to have to rewatch that one. I didn't know it turned 40 this year, so that's exciting. That's 85. Okay. Rock on, Davey. We'll have to talk about that sometime. David Primero is saying, have you watched Pinocchio's Revenge? It's a good movie. It's weird when it comes to the public domain horror films. The ones that really grab my attention the most are the ones coming from Jagged Edge. So I'm a little more excited for Pinocchio Unstrung. But I might check this one out. My thing about it's weird because I feel the same way about public domain horror that I do with found footage horror. It's kind of one of those things where I feel like anyone's going to kind of try their hand at it, right? But there's only like a select few things that are just genuinely great. It's very similar fields, I feel, in the space of horror. And public domain horror, it's one of those things where you can make anything, and it's about something that's already popular, already has a established fan base, and people are going to want to watch it. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about, like, I'm not, I guess I'm not as willing to check out as many public domain horror films unless they're made by somebody who I trust that's going to do right by it. Screamboat, great example, made by Fuzz on the Lens. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It is a very dumb, turn your brain off movie, but if that's kind of all I wanted from a movie called Screamboat about Mickey Mouse killing people on a yacht, not a yacht, on a ferry boat in New York. So I had a very good time with that movie. So Pinocchio's Revenge, I might check it out. I might give it a watch, but I don't know if I'm going to do I don't know if I'll do a whole video on it. You know, that's kind of my thing, but I'll check it out. We'll see what's up. My goal next week is to do some videos on I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm trying something out. Trying something a little experimental out next week, and hopefully it pans out. But you never know. You never know with these things. But I want to try. I really want to try my hand at talking about older movies, man. Not that I don't like talking about the upcoming stuff, but I love talking about some of the older classics that I love so much. And rarely do I get views on videos like that, unfortunately. So with this being my job and all, it's kind of it's tough not talking about the things that are a little more popular in the space, but. Hopefully with the new movie coming out, people will be a little more willing to check out content on older movies. So I'm excited to get into I Know What You Did Last Summer. There's a lot of weird things about it that I could totally break down in a big video. So we'll make that happen soon. Tom is asking if I watch American Horror Story. I haven't watched it in a long time. I think the last season I watched was season 10. I watched the first half of I think wasn't it called Double Feature or something? I watched the first half. I didn't really watch the back half. I kind of liked it. It was about like vampires on, speaking of I Know What You Did Last Summer, like vampires in that kind of area during the winter, like East Coast, kind of vibes. It was cool. I actually really liked that story. I didn't watch the second half though, but that was fun. That was like a fun season. Tom's talking about the Emma Roberts season, which is probably the best in the back half. I did watch that, the slasher 1984 season. That was really good. That's some of the best. Honestly, that's some of the best of AHS. I'm gonna be totally real. That's really fucking solid. And you're saying it reminds you of what Jill could have been in Screams 5 and 6. That would have been cool, man. I could see that storyline being applied to Scream for sure. It feels very inspired at the very least. What else is going on? Erica is saying the crown system is fun for me and Cody because we get to fight over the #1 spot. That's the fun of it. I feel it's just you kind of get to get to compete in a friendly manner, I should say, about things, which is sick. Oh, and I didn't even, my bad. After David's super chat, we hit our 10 out of 10 goal for the super chats this stream. Thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate the support. Thank you for keeping the lights on here at KillJoy Jake Studios. Means a lot. Means a lot to old Jake. Am I dead yet? Is saying, hey, Jake and everyone. Hey, am I dead yet? What's up? What's up? Welcome in. I hope you're not dead yet. Davey Deathray going on about going on like he's talking too much about it. No, I love that you're talking about Day of the Dead, Davey. Saying a lot of people rip on Day of the Dead, but it's easily my favorite zombie flick of all time. That's your favorite? Rock on, Davey. Bro, that's a great movie. Seriously, it is criminally underrated. My friends are wrong. My friends' opinions are wrong on that movie. No, that one was that one's banging, dude. I like that one quite a bit. Romero's the king. Romero's the king of zombies, dude. He knew what he was doing. All three of those movies, I think, are contenders for top 10 of all time, without a doubt. So I'm that's cool as fuck that's your favorite. Sick. Love that movie. I'm gonna slash and gash, rip a hole in your ass. Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. What is up, my scary movie loving friend? Saying that movie old as hell. I know. I feel my back just ached a little bit because that movie's as old as me. Ugh. Cody is saying, who was with me when I jumped off for them to win? That's really funny. Fall Guys over on the other page has been vicious, and Jess is even saying down there, you know who's not friendly? Me on Fall Guys. Don't forget to check out Jacob's gaming channel over at GullGotha. If you want to see Jess just talk some mad shit, go check it out. It is so much fun. It's vicious. I want to say it's friendly competition, but it's brutal. DJ Plays Favorites is saying hi all. Thank you for being a channel member, dude. What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. Means a ton. I'm gonna slash and gash saying I think it only has a VHS and SD copy out, but it wasn't too bad. Damn. Who else is with us? What are your opinions on the Terminator franchise? Asks Spawn. I love the first two movies, and then it kind of falls off for me after that. But I will say I think they've had some really cool ideas in those other sequels. I think Terminator Salvation has a great concept. I've always wanted to see a Terminator film take place in the actual future, opposed to doing what literally all of the other sequels have done, which is try to copy the success of Terminator 2. So it stands out for that reason. I'm a little more apologetic to Salvation for at least trying to do something else besides just, maybe get a sliver of love, a sliver of that Terminator 2 love. Like, I'm not kidding. Every other Terminator sequel, Terminator 3, Terminator 5, Terminator 6, they're just trying so hard to be Terminator 2. And it's like, guys, you're not going to do better than Terminator 2. It's the best sequel of all time. Stop trying. So Salvation, it's my third favorite from the franchise because it at least tried. It's not great, but it tried, and I'll give it that. So I don't know. It's a tough franchise, but the first two, some of the best sci-fi movies out there, I think. So Terminator, lots to love there, but man, those sequels could have been better, I guess is my point. Funny Jackson Watkins. That Jackson Watkins, he sure is a funny guy, let me tell you. Final Destination Bloodlines is honestly the best Final Destination. Dude, I think I'm with you, which is crazy to say. I really went into that movie, not super high expectations. I thought it was just going to be a fun time, nice return to the franchise, and I was blown away. I actually cared about the characters, which is kind of a first for that franchise, for me at least personally, and I was in tears watching the Tony Todd sequence. It's the first Final Destination movie to really make me cry. And then it also has a committed, brutal fucking ending, which I'm just like, that's how you make a Final Destination movie, baby. That's how you do it. Come on now. Don't try to be like everybody else and just have sunshine and roses ending. No, fuck that. This is Final Destination. And this movie committed to the tone of the original films while doing its own thing. So I have nothing but love for Final Destination Bloodlines. I enjoyed it quite a bit. In my top 10 for the year, without a doubt. So really just a super special film that came out this year. Great return to a beloved franchise that probably never should have went away in the first place. I really hope we get Final Destination 7. I don't know. I think the only reason it hasn't been announced yet is the creators just don't have a solid idea yet. And that's understandable, right? They've talked so much about how they jam-packed all of their good ideas into this movie, and it shows. So let's give them time to figure some shit out. I'm sure we'll get some news on it very soon. The hype for Final Destination isn't going anywhere either. What else is going on? DJ Plays Favorites is saying, what is your thoughts on Gail? Is she covering for Stu? Why would she cover for if Stu's alive? Why would Gail cover for him? I feel that Gail is here to I think initially to interview Sydney, but then gets roped into a new murder mystery. That's my guess. That could be a really fun way to bring our characters from New York into small town Indiana, right? So that's my guess as to why Gail's here. But I think she's going to go full detective mode like she usually does once the murders start happening, once they find out that Ghostface is back. So I've heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true. It's funny. My Madison, who was here earlier. Hi, Madison, if you're still out there. She heard a rumor about Scream, and I ended up doing some research on it, and I'm like, oh shit, that might be what's up. I think I know what happens in the opening scene. I won't share it with you guys, no spoilers, but if it's what I think it is, if the rumors are to be believed, it's pretty crazy, pretty nuts shit, and that would be a really cool way to start off a Scream film. So it's funny, you never know where you're gonna get details about Scream. Because everyone's got something. Everyone's got a little something about Scream 7 right now, which I think is really fun. But I've been reading something. I read some rumors about the opening scene that I hope are true, because I'm hearing some crazy shit about it. Who else is with us? What else we got going on? Funny Jackson Watkins saying, today I watched Terrifier for the first time and it was so crazy. It is crazy. I love the way I just love the way you write messages, Jackson Watkins. You truly are funny. But dude, Terrifier is crazy as fuck, man. I that movie it's dumb fun. Are the characters good? No. But is Art the Clown amazing? Yes. So that's all you need. You just need Art the Clown being crazy and dumb and slashing people up. Come on now. But I like the first Terrifier. I think the sequels are leagues better. But first one, solid. It's done well enough. It's probably the only franchise I can really think of where the first one is like definitely not the best one. Like definitely my least favorite. But hey, I like I really do like all those movies though. David Primero saying, have you seen or heard of a movie Jawbreaker? Yeah. Oh, who's in that from Scream? What's her face? Isn't Rose McGowan in that? Right? Hang on. I'm pretty sure that's her, right? Yeah, yes. Yeah, I have seen this. Really, yeah, it's a fun movie. It's got like what is it? It's got like late 90s, early thousands vibes to it again. Like we were kind of talking about that earlier. That's just really nostalgic, I feel nowadays. It's in, as the kids say. Oh my God, and I forgot. Yeah, I totally forgot about the cast. The rest of the cast, I should say. You have Rebecca Gayheart, you have Judy Greer, Rose McGowan stars. I mean, oh my God. I mean, if you guys like late 90s stuff, this is a fun one to get into. It gives you I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes mixed with Mean Girls. Yeah, I was actually just gonna say it's very Mean Girls. Very has that vibe to it quite a bit. But yeah, no, this is a fun one. If you guys have never seen it, it's a fun watch if you like late 90s stuff. Teddy is saying that Jess hacks on Fall Guys, and Jess is also responding to that. These accusations saying, Teddy, don't spill my secrets. I knew it. I knew you were cheating, Jess. Jeez. Cryptic Haze is telling us we should play Among Us on stream. It would be very peaceful. Yeah, there wouldn't be any screaming at all. I don't know what you're talking about. No screaming. Definitely not. Sloppenheimer is saying Tarantino needs to make another horror movie. It's been a while since he's made one. I would love to see another one from him, but he's only got one more movie in the chamber. So I don't know what it's going to be, Sloppenheimer. He made up this weird rule that he can only make 10 films. I don't get it. I wish he would just make movies. But he's just kind of producing stuff and what didn't he write that weird sequel? There's like a weird sequel coming out to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Isn't that like his next big project? But he's not directing it because he's like, that's not my 10th film, damn it. Who knows, man? He had a whole film like in the works. He was like gonna do it, and then he just canceled it because he's like, I don't want that to be my last movie. And I'm like, Tarantino, just drop the 10 movie thing. Just make movies. We just want to see new Tarantino flicks. Come on now. That last one was so good. I know you did Once Upon a Time. I'm thinking of two movies at the same time. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, man, that rocked. I loved that. That was like, I'm not even kidding. That's one of my favorite Tarantino flicks. Slow but enjoyable. I like slow movies. I'm weird. I'm all about a good slow movie. Bon is saying Empire Strikes Back is my favorite film ever, so I wouldn't say the best sequel ever. Fair enough. Empire Strikes Back, great sequel, man. I think that's probably the best of the Star Wars. That's the best Star Wars media, without a doubt. Terminator 2 is just like, dude, it takes that concept and it makes it so much better. Terminator 2, like I could give that the best sequel ever award all day, every day. I think Aliens is up there for me too. I love Aliens. Empire Strikes Back, that's in the conversation without a doubt. What's the best sequel ever? I'll throw that out there. What do you guys think? What's your absolute favorite sequel? Let me know. There's a lot of great options. I mean, well, that's just we're just scratching the surface, I feel. Some people will say that it's rare that a sequel tops the original. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of sequels that are better than their predecessors. But it all depends. Every franchise is case by case. Picky Piggy is saying, I'm so happy Final Destination came back. I agree. It's nice to have that franchise back. That's like many franchises, not many, but like few franchises out there. It could go on forever. So we could use a million more Final Destination movies. I don't think I'm ever going to get sick of those. They're just so much fun. They're always so much fun. Joshua B is saying Jawbreakers is worth a rewatch. Thanks. Hell yeah. You're also saying that Slow Cookers are the best overall movies from beginning to end. I just think when you have to wait for something that's like a big hit, a big surprise, it hits harder. I feel like when a movie is just setting up one big thing, it always just comes at you way better than something like a movie that's keeping the punches rolling. So that to me, that's my thing. I'll sit through something. I'll sit through something if you got a good ending. If you got a good punch at the end, I'll wait for it. You know, that's kind of how I feel about a lot of good slow burners. So that's how I personally feel with movies. But I do, you know, there's nothing wrong with a good, just action-packed, crazy movie. Listen, I love the John Wick films, all 4 of those, and even Ballerina, which fucking rocked and nobody saw it, which is crazy. Also very good. Like, love all those movies. They're fucking insane. So I don't know. I love both, but there's something about the slow burners. They always they hit a little harder. They're more memorable when you get to the ending, even though, yeah, you gotta sit through it. You gotta be patient. Tests you a little bit, but man, nothing like a good punch in the gut at the end of a good slow cooker. Have I seen Green Inferno, Tom? Yes, Green Inferno, I think, is one of the best Eli Roth movies. I don't think it gets enough love. It's brutal as fuck. And it's, in my humble opinion, I think it's way better than Cannibal Holocaust, the movie. It's definitely inspired by. First and foremost, they don't torture animals on screen. So yeah, I'll give them. That's a major plus in that film, which is so fucked up, man. I can't even watch the original Cannibal Holocaust, man. It's too fucked up. Too fucked up for me. Picky Piggy is saying Five Nights at Freddy's 1 movie was good in my opinion, but because we got 2 animatronic horror movies before it, that in my opinion was better. It felt like the long wait for the movie was all for nothing. I just, you know, my thing about Five Nights at Freddy's is my first experience with it was playing that video game. And I just remember, like, I was so into jump scares at the time. Like, I make fun of me. I don't even care. But like I was like, jump scare movies, jump scare video games. I'm like, that's my shit. Give me some of that. Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie, it just didn't really deliver in that department. I remember being fucking petrified by some of those jump scares with the way they were set up. And then the movie comes out and it's like, it's basically a kid's movie. It's like, I get it. Your demographic is, you know, younger people. Like, you look at the stats for who went to see that movie. I get it, but at least make the jump scares good. I mean, how are the video game jump scares like beyond better than that first movie? I don't know. I just kind of felt like that was not really hitting on one of the biggest things that I liked about the original film, or the original game, I should say, in the movie adaptation. But Josh Hutcherson, you know, great actor, underrated actor that I love is getting the shine right now. Matthew Lillard kind of doing a prototype older Stu Macher reveal in that movie, which I know Scream fans really loved. But it's Tom is saying it's like a Disney Channel movie, and I'm like, I just don't. Kids want to be scared. Kids want to see scary shit in movies, and I promise you, the only people that are going to be mad are the parents. And yeah, but that's what. That if you wanted to deliver on a good movie, that's what you should have done. You know, you can't just water it down. Come on now. That would have been sick as fuck if that movie would have had some like just like lights out jump scares, which it should have. I don't even care that the story is not so great in Five Nights at Freddy's. I could care less about what the story is. Give me good jump scares. That's my one thing. That's like that's what you built an entire horror gaming franchise on. Give it to me. Come on now. And lore, and of course, so much fucking lore. You got to have that too. But anyways, Joshua's saying absolute favorite sequel without thinking too long, so I can type this out. Aliens, dude, totally fair. I mean, that's one of the best sequels ever, man. I can't argue with that at all. That's a great take. We love it. I got to see The Gift from 2000. You know, Ty, you brought this up before, and like I just haven't sat down and watched it. I've been so busy between moving out and trying to get this gaming channel monetized. I haven't had a whole lot of time to watch movies lately. It's crazy. I did finish The Handmaid's Tale recently, though, so we're getting back into some crazier movies. I want to show Madison a bunch of movies she hasn't seen before. This might be a good one to get into, one that we haven't seen, both of us. That would be kind of fun. But for sure, definitely want to get caught up on some more movies I haven't seen. Am I going to get the I Know What You Did Last Summer popcorn bucket? It's cute as fuck. It's a little tackle box with a bunch of references to the movie on it. I think it's awesome. I really want to get it. I'll tell you what. I think it would be great with my little collection I got here, which I cannot thank you. Like this, I have this collection pretty much because of you guys. Y'all rock. So Carrie Craves Cinema, which I don't think she's here, but she's been popping into the streams again recently. She got me the Ghostface, which is cool. And then Eric from the Bearded Entertainment got me the Terrifier one, which is sick as fuck. And there's a Billy back there, but you can't see it. Billy the puppet is also there. But I think that would be a kind of a fun addition to the Popcorn Bucket collection. It would be different, right? It wouldn't be just another face. It would be something else. But yeah, that is something I want to bring up. After this week, shit is going to start disappearing from behind me. Everything's good. I'm just moving. I just want to give you guys that heads up. In August 1st, we're moving. You're not going to see any original videos on the page for the first couple weeks, or for the first week of August, I should say. But then we'll come back with a whole new set. So apologies for that in advance. But starting August 1st for a little while, it's just going to be kind of those hour-long compilation videos, just so that I can move, I can set up, get a whole new set going. I'll still be posting, if there's any updates or anything, I'll be posting like shorts on my phone. But unfortunately, that's all I'm going to be able to do for a little while. And yeah, shit is going to disappear from the back, probably starting this week, because we got to start packing. But just a heads up on that. I thought in case you guys are seeing shit disappear, you're like, what's going on? What's happening? But yeah, just a little update there. JPR is saying, I feel like the biggest way to understand the reason why Megan 2.0 failed is imagine if Seed of Chucky was the sequel to Child's Play instead of Child's Play 2. JPR, that is a absolutely fantastic examination right there. And yeah, I think that's the failure. Jason Blum said they felt that Megan was like Superman, that they could just kind of apply her to any story. But you know, I feel like why you can do weirder stories with a Superman, a Batman, a character that is so just ingrained in pop culture is because of that. You know, Megan is very new to the scene. You know, top of 2023, she drops and has a little bit of success with that new movie, right? With that first movie, I should say. But then, you know, you can't just throw her into the weirdest story ever. I mean, there's stories where Batman is a fucking samurai, man. Like, what? That's if that was the second thing that Batman did, I promise you we wouldn't be sitting here talking about Batman or Superman. If you know, the sequel was they just went completely out of left field and into things. So like that to me should have been like Megan 7. You know, if the franchise has gone on for that long and you wanted to do something really weird with like a 7th installment, fine, sure. But Megan 2 being that bizarre, I don't know, man. I understand you get to a certain point with the franchise though, and it's like, there's no more ideas here. We got to get fucking weird with it if we're going to make another movie. I understand that. And that's why when the later you get into a franchise, the more I'm apologetic towards it. You know, we just got Jurassic World 7 and I'm just like, you know, I'm not going to go into this being too harsh because they've made 6 of these movies already. So I feel like with the sequel though, I'm still going to be pretty harsh on it. You know, I'm like, there's probably still stories you can tell at this point. But whatever. Victor Simpson saying Killboy Jake, that's me, makes me smile like the McDonald's logo. Ba 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 ba. I'm loving it. You smile like the McDonald's logo. That's sick as fuck. I wish I could make my mouth that shape, but I couldn't if I tried. It would lots of blood probably, but that would be sick as fuck. That cracks me up. What else we got going on here? My Chunky Jordy is saying, imagine how I felt, Jake. I was 8 when I saw Cannibal Holocaust, then I wanted to be a vet. Oh my God. You poor thing. That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. You shouldn't have been watching that movie at 8 years old regardless though, dude. Oh my God, that one's vicious. You know, I just had a talk with Madison about, I told her that like, if we ever have kids, I want to show them Scream pretty young. I want to get them, you know, primed and ready for horror films when they're older, because they're going with their pops to go see new horror movies. That's what we're gonna do. I'm making sure my kids like horror movies. And she's like, you're not showing them Scream when they're 5. And I'm like, they can handle Scream. My kids will be able to handle Scream at 5. It's no big deal. Maybe not Cannibal Holocaust, but they can handle Scream. It'd be fine. They'll live. But that cracks me up. Let me know in the chat, to our parents out there, would you show your child, maybe a 5-year-old child, the Scream films? Is that too young? Maybe I wait till they're 10. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. But I feel like they could handle it. I watched 8-Legged Freaks when I was 5 and it scared the shit out of me and I loved it. I was like, this is awesome. Did I have nightmares that night? Yes. Am I terrified of spiders to this day? Kind of. But you know what? it was a learning experience, and I'm glad my parents put me through that. Tom said Jason Blum also said that The Exorcist was a drama, not a horror movie, and that's the reason why Believer failed. That's ridiculous. Believer failed because it was trash. Believer just failed because it was trash. Believer failed for a lot of reasons. I feel like we could break that movie down piece by piece and examine it. It's just there's so many consistents with bad movies. I feel one of those things is something I've noticed about bad movies lately is they all have like a million fucking characters, and Believer absolutely falls into that field. There's like a million characters in that movie. I couldn't tell you the name of one of them. Like nothing. I have nothing in that field. I'm genuinely thinking about it. I got nothing. Oh, I guess you got characters from the original, but the new characters, I couldn't tell you one of their names. Don't remember them. Hardly any substance there, which is a shame. But Believer, just man, if you want to make a good horror film this day and age, if you want to make a good horror continuation too, especially, keep it small. Keep it non-convoluted. Don't just build off of what came before. Do your own thing. Tell a pocket story. Few characters. These things will help you so much. You will make a better story no matter what. But stop with the millions of characters in movies, man. That to me is killing a lot of upcoming flicks, which I think is a shame. Mr. Rick is hanging out with us. What's up, my friend? I love the red right-hand profile picture, by the way, which I got right here. We love it. Saying, got back from work. Hope I didn't miss much, Jake. Did you see Deer Camp 86 yet? Boy, what a movie. You won't think of Ticks the same way again. Ugh. I was just working at I was doing a job. I was doing something. I can't say what I was doing, but I was doing something, and there was people saying that there was ticks there, and that freaked me out. Ticks scare me, man. They're nasty little guys. I'll have to see that Deer Camp 86. This, I feel this is on something, and I've seen it before because I swear to God I've read that. Deer Camp 86. It's a horror comedy. Stars Noah Lalonde. Heard that name before as well. Shit, I'm gonna have to watch this. This looks fun. 2022. Okay, fairly recent film. Got like an 80s vibe to it. I'm loving the way it looks. Cool as fuck, dude. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that one out. Gina is saying, throwing $2 out there. Thank you, Gina. Saying, blame my brother. Your brother made you watch that? That makes more sense. There you go. Yeah, that's terrifying. I'm so sorry you had to watch that at such a young age. That is absolutely not one I would show a kid. Like, Scream is different. We showed my nephews who were, I think the one was 9 at the time, Scream 2. And he had already seen Scream well before that. Totally fine. He was having a fun time with it. That was my litmus test for to see if that would be okay or not. So my nephew thought he was fine. He was fine watching that one. Cannibal Holocaust, I wouldn't show him that one. Even now I wouldn't show him that one. I think he's 11 or 12 or something now. But I would know. That's too much. That one's crazy. But Gina, I'm so sorry. You poor thing. Your brother was so mean. That's brutal. But thank you for the 2. We appreciate it. Madison is saying, I hope you know that I'm not joking. I'm not letting our kids see horror movies that young. Yeah, but Scream is like, it's chill as fuck, man. It's fun. It's not even that. It's like horror adjacent, I would argue, honestly. It's fun, but it's really not that scary. I mean, Ghostface kind of just pops up and he's running around with a knife. That's as scary as it gets. Ty is saying, I think a 5-year-old would get bored with Scream. That's sad. That's honestly sad to think about. I have seen kids who can't sit through a movie though, and that bums me out. I'm going to make sure my kids can. That is such a very important thing for me. I'm like, you're sitting through a goddamn movie. You're getting off that phone. Oh, ripping the phone out of the hands and throwing it across. No, my kids are not getting phones until they are much older. I'm telling you that right now. I can't tell you how many iPad kids I have seen in my life, and I'm just like, that guy's he's screwed. He's screwed for life. He doesn't have an attention. How can you do anything if you don't have an attention span? You know how boring this stream would be if I didn't have an attention span? And it's already pretty bad. You guys hear me spiraling on this stream? Oh my God. But dude, imagine if it was worse. I'd just be looking at anything shiny, which I have 2 monitors in front of me that are very shiny right now, and I just want to look up things. It would be horrible. So attention spans, so important for children. Please, I'm begging you, my parents out there, make sure your kids can have some sort of attention span for the future. Erica's saying, Madison, horror movies don't create psychos. They make psychos more creative. I love that. I love that. JPR is saying, now you got to make sure your children are locked in by making them watch THC. Wait, what is that? I feel like I should know what that is. I'm dumb. My Chunky Jordy is saying, I saw Halloween with my parents when I was 5, and I was allowed to watch Halloween 2 on my own when I was 6, but started with Hammer horror when when you were 3. It helped me sleep, apparently. See, some kids can handle it, some can't, I feel. Also, it's just different. But Halloween, I also don't feel like the original Halloween's not too bad. I don't think I would show him like Michael Myers nowadays, like Halloween Kills might like really give nightmares to a child. Like that would be pretty freaky, but Halloween 78, I feel like it wouldn't be too bad. Joshua saying, I allowed my 5-year-old adoptive daughter to watch the original Scream trilogy, raised her as my own with her biological mother's permission. We would let her watch us Kendra Screams Run, Sydney. Oh, that's cute. No, I love that. I love that quite a bit. Again, I don't feel like Scream is really isn't too crazy. Like it wouldn't be like the most terrifying thing. There are movies that would be too far, but Scream is a little more chill. That's not a dig towards that film, by the way. I don't think that I'm someone who personally doesn't believe that horror has to be scary to be effective. I think Scream's got a lot of other things, more specific things going for it. So Lou Bags Live is saying, can't wait for the new Scream film. Still can't believe they haven't made a Scream game on Xbox or PlayStation. Dude, a Scream game would bang. Like, seriously, why? I don't know why they haven't done that. There's all these super popular story-based games, too. And I'm just kind of shocked. I'm just kind of shocked that we haven't had just one come out that was really that was some kind of story-based Scream game. I don't know. I don't really get I don't get why that hasn't happened. I think that would be awesome. The Quarry, Until Dawn, something in that style where it's decision making too, I think would be really fun. You're trying to figure out who the killer is amongst the group. It could be somebody different every single time, like randomly generated. I mean, how much fun would that be? It would have so much replay value. You could go through it multiple times. That'd be sick. Oh, you saw Shaun of the Dead as a young kid, and I loved it. It's still one of my most favorite zombie movies. Oh, that's a great movie. That one's fun. Again, that one's just silly. I feel like there's some I mean, guy shoots his mom in that movie. That's kind of brutal. I might wait till they're a little older with that one. But I do love that one quite a bit. I saw that at a young age though too. I might have been like 6 or 7 when I saw that for the first time. That one's brutal, but it's fun. That's a really fun horror comedy. I would do a whole video on Shaun of the Dead because I feel like there's so much to break down about that film. It's like, I feel like you remember it for the comedy, but if you actually like think about the events, it's a messed up movie. I mean, it is actually pretty dark, which it's probably the reason why I think it's one of my favorite horror comedies, is that it actually does go to some emotional and dark places, which I think when you watch it on rewatch, like if you've only seen it one time, watch it again and keep that in mind, because it really does. I mean, there's some messed up stuff about it, man. There's some brutal moments in that film. It's a full bona fide zombie movie as well as being a genuinely hilarious comedy too. So Shaun of the Dead, it does it for me, man. Love me some British horror movies and British humor just in general. Cryptic Haze is saying, for real, my one friend went to see the Megan 2 with me and he sat on his phone the whole time. Like, doesn't that kind of bum you out? It's just like you can't even enjoy a movie without being on your phone. There's nothing on this phone that's going to keep you interested your whole life. You know what I mean? I think that's the other thing too. It's important to get time away from it, man. And here I am fucking scrolling. Here I am just like, oh, what's going on here? It doesn't matter. We're on a stream. Live in the moment. Ugh. Sorry, I've been getting on my soapbox lately on these streams. It's a problem, but I have my opinions on things. Nicholas Brady is saying, I saw the first Scream the year it came out when I was 8. See, you were 8. That's not too bad. Scared the crap out of me and I couldn't sleep at night, but I loved it. It's weird. I saw Scream 4 at a young age, and I don't know, it didn't really scare me, but I liked it. I remember being like, that was cool. Okay, let's see what else is happening at that franchise. That was the first time I saw a Scream. How old was I when that movie? I was like 13 when that movie came out. So I must have seen it when I was like 13, 14. Yeah, I remember I was just getting into high school when I saw Scream 4 for the first time. Yeah. I think I was in like I was either in 8th grade or 9th grade when I saw that for the first time. So that was my first Scream movie. But I liked it quite a bit. I liked that there was a series out there that was referencing other horror movies. I didn't think that was even a thing, until I saw it. And then I saw Scream and I'm like, oh, that's it. That's different. That's interesting. So it's got its own thing going on. And that's why I've always liked the series. Ty Lee is saying the guy from Shaun of the Dead is in The Gift. Oh, fuck. I gotta watch this movie, man. You're giving me all these good reasons to sit down and watch this one. Brutal. Cryptic Haze, that's a really good point. It's not horror, but Coraline is a good gateway film. I agree. Coraline is a great. There's a lot of good gateway films I feel like we could totally start with. Coraline is absolutely one. I love that movie. All the animated Tim Burton films I feel like is a really good place to start with horror too. So. And you're saying show them Terrifier. They're really happy, calm films. Terrifier 3 is a family Christmas movie. So that you're right. I should totally make them watch that. You know what's funny? I made Madison see that movie twice and she couldn't even watch it. She was literally like, ugh, oh, it's messed up. And you know what's funny? There's every part of that movie is really fucked up to different people is what I've learned. For me, the hardest part of that film to watch is the shower sequence. It just, oh my God, dude, when his leg snaps, that makes me want to throw up. Ugh. Oh my God. But it's funny because I talked to Madison and I'm like, what's the part of it that like makes you turn away? Like you can't even like, that's just what's too much for you in that movie. And she's like everything with Victoria. She's like, everything with Victoria was too much. And if you know what I'm talking about, the shard of glass that went into certain places. Dear God, that was what was too much for her. She's like, I couldn't watch that. That was insane. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But I feel like everyone has a different part of Terrifier that's too much for them. And that to me is sick as fuck. We love it. The rat kill does it for you. Yes. That might be my all-time favorite Art the Clown kill. I love that so much. There's so many good ones, but that one's just so specifically cruel in terms of concept. It's just so ridiculous. I love it. Jab is with us saying, who do you think Anna Lore plays in Black Phone 2 and T.O. Briones in Five Nights at Freddy's 2? I didn't know that T.O. Briones was in that one. That's awesome. Who does Anna Lore play? How old is Anna Lore? Because I want to say the mom. Because how old is she? Does that read? She was born in 93. She might actually be one of the could she be one of the kids at the summer camp? Is that too crazy to say? No, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe she's because isn't there? I was reading something about maybe the mom is gonna be a part of that. Is she in this movie? I don't think she is. Anna Lore is from Final Destination Bloodlines. I think you're lying to me right now. Hang on, I'm looking up Black Phone 2. I'm curious who's in the cast. But I was reading that somehow the mom was going to be involved with this story, which is cool. And I'm like, I think that could really work. I want to do a little more research on Black Phone 2 because there's definitely a lot to get into. Yeah, they are not in the Anna Lore is not in the cast, but we have Madeline McGraw coming back. Mason Thames is how you pronounce that, not Thames. I've been saying it wrong for so long. Ethan Hawke, Miguel Mora is coming back too. I didn't know that. I gotta do some more fucking research on this one. This one I've been meaning to make a video on for a long time. Killmore, horror and gaming. Love the name. Sick as fuck, bro. I think tonight's mystery movie will be I Know What You Did Last Summer. We had someone else saying that earlier. Because here's my thing. If it is, I'm not kidding when I say that could help me out immensely. That would be, if I could see that movie early, that would be insane. Because that weekend, man, is so dicey. I got to get a lot done that weekend, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to see I Know What You Did Last Summer, cover it properly, and also get into a lot of the shit I got to get done that weekend. We're packing. We're moving into a new apartment. For those who missed my whole rant earlier. But shit, that would be awesome if I could see that tonight. That would be dope, and I want to see that one early anyways. So I might actually look into that. Billy Boy is saying, "Hey Jake, hey Billy Boy, how you doing? What's up? Tom is saying Jennifer Love Hewitt is in 911 and she always looks like she just smelt a fart. maybe she is. I don't know. Maybe Jennifer Love Hewitt's just really gassy, man. I don't know. Courage the Cowardly Dog is a good start for like gateway horror. That's a good point too. Am I excited for Jennifer Love Hewitt's comeback in the next couple of weeks? Yes, absolutely. I'm excited to see her in this new movie. I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited to see what they do with the legacy characters. I feel like that's a big mystery. That's a big question mark with this new one. You know, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do with them to reinvent them and still be a part of the story, even though we do have this whole new accident kind of fueling the events of this new film. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it's all about. I am actually quite excited. Joshua was also saying, I Know What You Did Last Summer 3 had better be a new classic, followed by Scream 7 Beastin', equals keeping the Scream Queen thrones polished and screaming, shining. I like that. Yeah, I hope it's good. I hope this new I Know What You Did Last Summer rocks and is better than the original I Know What You Did Last Summer 3. I'll always know what you did last summer, a film that time has thankfully forgotten. Let's we can move past that. We can move past that one entirely, I feel. Wild film if you've never seen it. Trust me, you don't need it in your life. But I'm so excited to see what this new one's all about. I hope it's good. Hopefully it kicks off some sort of new horror franchise to talk about. That would be great. Not that I don't like talking about the franchises I talk about, but it's always refreshing to have some new ones to get into, right? It's always good. You're going to the mystery movie tonight, and I'm hoping it's I Know What You Did Last Summer. Fingers crossed. I'm actually gonna look it up. I'm curious if it's that or not. That would be cool as fuck if it is. What else is going on? Pepperidge Farms remembers I Always Know What You Did Last Summer, Jake. What? Pepperidge Farms, not them. That's wild. It seems like Black Phone 2 is shaping up to be just as much of a Gwen story as one for Finney, maybe even more. I wouldn't mind the focus shifting to Gwen just because Finney was kind of the focus of the last one. Gwen's a cool character, mind you. She has like kind of some weird supernatural powers going on, which I think is sick. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind her being the focus. I actually wouldn't mind the shift there. If Finney wants to take a back seat on this one, we make this one more about Gwen. I think it could be kind of cool. It could be kind of different. And we don't want a sequel that's exactly the same as the first one, Not in this franchise. I feel like this is something that's gonna. This sequel has to reinvent the series to push a sequel forward. You know what I mean? We're going full on Freddy Krueger here. Give me Freddy. Give me Freddy Krueger. Give me death. Because the grabber story from the original, it's simple and it's effective, but it never needed a continuation. The guy got what he deserved. It was an open and shut case. When they announced Black Phone 2, I was scratching my head. I'm like, do we need that? Do we need Black Phone 2? But I'll see it because of the way that they're laying it out. They're clearly reinventing this character. He's a supernatural killer this time, where that was the thing that brought him down in the previous film. So now he has that on his side. That makes him a totally different villain. He's evolved essentially. And I feel like that's going to be fun. That's going to be exciting. And I love the way they're marketing this as death is just a word and all that. I thought that was kind of cool. But lots to love about Black Phone 2. I think it's going to be really fun. JPR is saying The Shining is such a mind fuck, and I'll never understand. I'm like, huh? It's such a mind fuck. I'll never understand why Stephen King had to project himself into the Jack character because he didn't like the way Jack Nicholson played him. I've read so much about The Shining and what ended up happening there, and I just feel like Stanley Kubrick was just such a dickhead to Stephen King. Like, that's really what I feel like what it boils down to. And if you're in that situation, of course you're going to talk shit about the movie. Of course you're going to be like, well, fuck that guy. He just took my property and said he did it better. What a nerd. So I get where Stephen King's coming from, but King has even admitted, he's like, yeah, it's probably one of the best movie adaptations of any of my properties. But I understand having a resentment for the guy that was claiming to do your story but better. You know what I mean? Like, that's just so, I don't know. Kubrick, man, he made some great movies, but he just sounded like a insufferable piece of shit. I'm just going to be so real, man. Everything I've ever heard about Stanley Kubrick makes me like never want to be in a room with that guy. I'll watch his movies, but I'm just like, ugh. What a jerk. Whoa, Bond, this is wild. Seconds are always the best. Terminator 2, Empire Strikes Back, The Two Towers. Okay. Here's the thing, Bond. I respect your opinion, but Fellowship of the Ring is probably my favorite movie of all time. I mean, that's probably Two Towers is good. It is an excellent movie, and it's got a crazy, like, triumphant, insane ending. But man, nothing beats Fellowship for me personally. But I respect it. Two Towers, very good film though. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I agree with you there though. Dawn is better than is it Rise? Yeah, Dawn is better than Rise. I agree. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That might be my favorite of the new run so far. Kingdom is a close second though. Tell you what, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes fucking rocked as well. Really enjoyed that quite a bit. Tom is saying I'm nervous for what Blumhouse will do with Saw after their releases this year, hoping James Wan will be at the head of making the decisions. Jason Blum is washed. I mean, I don't know. Tough to argue with that. But James Wan, I really think the best thing we could do with the Saw franchise is James directs and Lee Winnell writes again. Whatever they want to do next with it, I'm telling you, if it's that same flow and feel of the original, kind of like what Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are doing right now with 28 Years Later. They're pushing the franchise in a new direction, but it's from the same creative, so it has similar attributes that are consistent with the original, even if the feeling, the tone is just totally different. So I really think if you want to get people on board, that's what you do. Have James and Lee, write and direct respectively that first movie, then hand it off to somebody else after you've established the direction. I feel like that's the way to go. That would be the best way to make this thing happen. And hopefully they do it justice. I really hope they do. I am absolutely going to see Superman this week. I will be seeing it Thursday night likely. And I'm hoping it's good. Hope it doesn't suck. It's gauging to make a 150K opening weekend. That would be awesome. I don't know if I'm going to review it or anything on this page, but I want to see it. I definitely want to check it out and see what it's all about. Who else? We got Kiki hanging out with us saying, I hope Scream 7 is in 40X. Those moving seats and stabbing from the seats are fun. That could be sick. That could be sweet. I've only done 40X once, but it's so worth your time. I got to see Twisters doing that, and it made the whole movie for me. I'm going to be honest. It's a fine movie, but the experience of seeing it in a theater like that was sick. Cryptic Haze is saying Creep 2 is greater than the original Creep. Oh, man, that's a debate. I mean, we could go back and forth on that all day. Both are excellent in their own rights. I think I like the original maybe just a little more, but Creep 2 is excellent, dude. Creep 2 is fucking fantastic. There's a good argument there, though, Cryptic Haze. There's a very good argument there. They need to do a sequel to Trick or Treat, says Tom. Michael Dougherty has been talking about it for years, and they just keep not actually moving forward with it, unfortunately, but he keeps teasing that a sequel's coming. I don't know if it's actually happening or not, but who knows? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think I got to get off because I got to get something. I got to call up an old friend who's in town. I'm not even kidding. I actually have to make a phone call, which is really fun. But I really do appreciate you guys stopping by, saying hi. Jason Carpenter just dropped in. What's up, dude? How's it going? You saw Jaws for the first time on the 4th of July? You weren't a big fan of it. What? Oh, man, one of my favorite movies of all time. Brutal, Jason. I'm sorry you didn't like it, but that is one of my all-time favorite movies. Crazy. But guys, I do appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be live again on Wednesday night. We're not going to be live on Friday again, unfortunately, because we're going to GhouliCon. GhouliCon is this weekend. Oh, if you don't know what GhouliCon is, I'm one of the guests at a horror convention happening this weekend in Newport, Kentucky. It's on the border of Ohio and Kentucky. Stop on by. It's going to be fun. Come say hey to Jake. But definitely come to this convention if you can. It's going to be sick as fuck. It's this weekend, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Stop on by. Jake's going to be doing a panel. Jake's going to be running around. I'm going to be with Brandon from I Like Scary. He's going to be there, as well as some other horror guests, which is going to be cool. But stop on by for Wednesday for one more stream. Appreciate you guys a ton. Please subscribe to the gaming channel. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.